Let them go, sis. Let them go. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Rock Your Decade. My name's Loretta, and on this channel, I hope to be a source of encouragement and inspiration to Gen Xers in particular, who are trying to navigate their space as it is right now and for the future. And so, if you feel that you want to talk about topics such as the one I'm going to speak about now, such as wellness, health, all the things, then stay tuned. Let them go. Let them go, sis. Let them go. And I'm saying this again because we find it so hard to let friendships go that have passed their expiry date. Okay, I'm going to be using my iPad because there is a lot here that I want to share. And so that I don't get, distracted, I'm going to be pointing down. So if you see me pointing down or looking down, should I say, then know that I got the iPad here. Okay, so, let's go back to the topic. Let them frenemies go because they're not friends. You think they are. And maybe they have been in the past, but they're no longer serving friendship. Okay. And we've got to get to this stage where we categorize our friends, so that we don't get offended. A friend that is good for cinema, a friend that is good for the cinema is not actually the friend that is good to talk to over a cup of tea about something. Maybe the friend that likes to partay is not the same friend that likes to go to the cinema. Maybe she's not the friend that wants to sit down and watch a film for 2 hours, 3 hours. You got to know who your friends are and what they like and how you can relate to them on that level. Okay. So we don't want friends that are here for a good time, not for a long time. Listen, I'm 59, 60 by the grace of God in a few months' time. I have not got time for time wasters. I really don't. And so when we're looking at our friends and we're trying to think, when do I need to start thinking about who's here for a good time and who's here for a long time? Sis, the answer is now. The answer is now. If you're watching this video, it's time to start thinking, okay? Especially, okay, if you've done everything you need to do and they're still treating you like the mean girls. You know that film? Yeah. Now, not in our 60s, not in our 50s, not even in our 40s. No, we don't have time for that. We got family, we got work, we got jobs, we got health, we got all the issues, we got all the things. We don't have time for the mean girl strategy. So if you've got a friend that maybe, you did upset and you said, sorry, you said, let's move on. You've tried to make amendments, and this person is continually punishing you. And I stress the word punishing. It's time to let her go or him go. Okay. If they are ghosting you, that was a new word that came to light during COVID, ghosting. I never heard of it before. But it's when somebody just doesn't respond to you. They're like a ghost. They're there, but you can't see them. You can't hear them. They're somewhere. Maybe they're at home. Maybe they're in the same country. Maybe they're in the same street. But you can't get in contact with them. You can't phone them. Or if you do phone them, they don't respond. They're ghosting you. And if they are ghosting you, let them go. They're trying to prove something. They're trying to tell you that, hey, it's over, or I haven't got time for you. Now, that's different from the friend who, we all go through some stuff once in a while. And there are times when we don't feel like talking. There are times when we don't, but there are ways around that. You can let your friend know, Or, you know, you can kind of like find other ways to show that, okay, I'm here for a short time maybe, but I can't do the long visits anymore. I'm just not in that space right now. That's fine. But I'm talking about real ghosting. I'm talking about you try and contact them and they're nowhere to be seen. But meanwhile, you've spoken to Jackie down there and she's spoken to her. Spoke to her last night. In fact, she was at, she was at somebody's party about 2 weeks ago. But you haven't seen her for 3, 4 months. She's ghosting you. Let her go. Another reason why we need to let them go is if they cannot muster an apology. Look, if we can't say sorry, if we can't apologize genuinely, no, it's time to let that person go. I remember in 2008 where I had this really nice friend and we went on holiday and it was awful. It was so bad. My husband, my friends, everyone was telling me, I'll pay for your ticket back. It was that bad. But I decided to stick it out. I thought she's going to change tomorrow. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And I was in Florida, so I was about 6,000 miles away from my house. And I thought, meanwhile, I'd known this person for about 12 years prior to that incident. So it wasn't like I only met her 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I'd known her a really long time. But it was awful. And we managed to get back to the country. She came with me back to London. She doesn't live in London. She doesn't live in the UK either. And we managed to get back. And then I knew it was over. And we said our goodbyes. I was pleasant until the end. And then about a month later, she writes me or sends me an email. She says, "Oh, hi. I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed our trip to Florida." I'm thinking, well, I'm glad you did, because I didn't. And then she said, if I was a bit funny, I think it was the meds. And literally, I stopped in my tracks, reading. You think it was the medication you were on? Number one, you didn't tell me you were on any medication at the time. But to actually say, if I was funny, if I was a bit touchy, it was probably the meds I was on. No, sis. Keep taking the meds. Keep taking the meds, because this person here, she ain't got time. She ain't got time for that. And we haven't spoken since. Do I miss her at times? Yeah, I do. It's not about pride. There were other things that happened before that kind of solidified her behavior and my reaction. But I just thought, I'm too old for this. No. And even at the time, I was, how old? I was, this was 2008. We're in 2025. So it's a long time ago. But do I miss her? I miss her, yeah, because she was funny. She probably is still funny. She was, she had so many good qualities, but a friend who cannot apologize, a friend who's too proud to humble herself at times. In 2025, Gen Xers, let them go. And that's what I did. When they cross certain boundaries of trust, it's time to let them go. If you have told a friend something and she leaks it to somebody else on the off chance. And she knew that, I mean, there are certain topics that are serious, that you shouldn't be telling somebody else, right? But let's just say it was a topic that, you don't need to kind of like call social services about. And it was just, between you and I, we know that we're not talking to anyone else about this. Our friendship is long enough. We know what we know. We're talking together. This doesn't need to go. And if it does need to go to someone else, it probably needs to go to someone who is in our circle. It probably doesn't, but if it did, it would have to go to somebody in the same circle, somebody who I talk to, if it did. But you telling my business to, everyone, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. No. If that is the case, I either need to stop telling you my business or I need to let you go. And if I find that you're constantly telling people about me, constantly talking down about me, then I definitely need to let you go. Because you ain't going. I need to let you go. That's the thing here. They're not going. We need to let them go. Okay? I'm going to number 5 now. Who's there for a reason and or a season? Okay? So the friend who's there for a reason. There because, she likes your clothes. There because you're a good night out. There because you pay for her meals. There because you write good letters for him. There because you are able to empathize. You are able to listen. If that's all they're given, it's take, then it's time to let them go. Now, it's not that there are some friends, I have some really good, who I would call friends, that I do most of the talking to. So I talk to them, they talk to me, and they like to hear my feedback, and they like to put things by me, and so and so. And, I really appreciate that. I enjoy that, actually. But someone who's just taking from you, taking your money, taking your time, taking your clothes, I think it's time to either re-evaluate the friendship or just let them go. Just let them go. Let them go. Okay? Trust your gut or intuition, right? At this stage, I think I'm talking to Gen Xers, and at this stage, I think we know when our gut is telling us something, especially if it's a new friend. I'm in the, vicinity to kind of like make new friends. I'm looking forward to it, And I have, a couple of friends, but I'd like to have, 4 friends that I talk to on a regular basis or do things with. And I met this girl at a networking thing. And we were there, it was really nice, had a good time, we gelled together, we had the same vibe, it seemed there. And I enjoyed the occasion, I enjoyed the people I was with, I enjoyed her as well. And we just decided to exchange phone numbers. So we did that. And then there was one day I decided that I was coming into London, and we decided to go to meet and go out for a meal. And it was an utter nightmare. This girl was talking down to people, talking down, to, no, that's not my vibe at all. If I go out, I like everyone who we come into contact with to kind of learn that they've come into contact with, a queen, with someone who's got manners. I'm not talking down to anyone unless, they openly deserve it. But I'm not calling the waiter and talking down to the waiter, or talking down to the hairdresser, or being rude for no reason. I'm not doing that. And it was just embarrassing. And at the end of it, we just said we should say goodbye. And I was still thinking, maybe, my gut was telling me that, nah, she's not for you. But I still was thinking, maybe something can come of it. And I told, a really good friend of mine, and she said, well, I'm telling you now. What was that? She said, let her go. And that's what I did immediately. No regrets. Number 7. Sometimes we want to hang on to what was. And what was in the early days was fun, it was good, it was trustworthy, it was everything. And we want to hang on to that. But your friend has changed for so many reasons. She could have gone through some stuff. She could have had some health challenges. She could have some relationship problems. She could have just been envious of you. Maybe you've moved up and things are not the same as they were. And if that is the case, I mean, I've said it. How many times have I said this? Number 7 now. It's time to let her go. Let her go. Okay? And this is a big one. Number 8. Because not every relationship needs closure. Sometimes it's like, oh, I need to get to the end of this. I need to close it. I need to get... No. Not everything needs closure. Some things you just need to walk away from. Leave the negotiating table and just let her go or let him go. Times change, and they change for different reasons. Unfortunately, even, spouses, sometimes they lose their expiry date. I have a friend who, when they were ill, it was because the husband couldn't deal with the illness and went off with somebody else. And, the marriage broke down. She had to let him go. So, sometimes we do have to remember that not everybody's here for a long time. Sometimes that short time can be a sweet spot, and that's enough. And we need to trust our intuition that we need to let them go. And the next thing is that if there's any misalignment, you're not. And when I say misalignment, I'm not talking about jobs. I'm not talking about you got a high job, she's got a lower job, she's got a husband, you haven't got one. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your spirit. Yeah, it's almost like a gunction. If there's misalignment, and your heart, your gut is telling you that it's just not it, then it's time to let her go. Okay, so these are just a few of the things. I'm sure there's more. Let me know in the comments about those, certain things that have happened and that, you've had to let her go, or anything that I've missed out. Maybe you want me to think about. I will answer all my my comments. Hopefully you'll be the first, second, third, fourth, fifth one. And so we can have that discussion down below. But do that. But in the meantime, I want you to rock your decade.